Got a great guest in with us right now as well. Dan Smith is with Berkshire, Hathaway, and Floberg Real Estate, covers the Billings area. Dan, great to see you. Thanks for dropping in the studios here.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so you and Beth just acquired Berkshire, Hathaway, HomeServices, Floberg Real Estate a couple years ago, but yeah, that huge deal when that news was announced.
It was a wonderful deal. We're very excited that we could come to terms with Don and Marilyn and the rest of the owners of the company. The culture of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Floberg Real Estate, is really what drove our decision to purchase the company. We've got great people up there, and obviously, as you know, it's a hot market. It's a great time to be in the business, and we couldn't be more excited to be that large of a part of the community.
Yeah, I know. It's always fun to run into former Billings Mayor Tom Hannell and his wife Robin Hannell, and of course they're still with you at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Floberg Real Estate. And Marilyn Floberg, I saw a write-up, a profile of her in the Yellowstone Valley Woman magazine probably a couple of years ago now. It just seems like a remarkable woman. She
is an amazing woman. We had talked a little bit on break about how tough of a negotiator she was, and she is an extremely bright woman, and we were glad that we could come to terms, and hopefully, Beth and I can continue to grow the company the way that her and Don did over the years.
Well, let's talk about the crazy real estate markets that have been taking place over the last year. I know looking back a year ago when all the lockdowns and everything first started happening, I know a lot of people were nervous, like, oh, man, what's going to happen with everything? What's going to happen with real estate? Are we going to be looking at another 2008-style recession that really hit, especially the Gallatin Valley, hard back then? And then recently I caught up with the Gallatin Association of Realtors, and they were telling me, so we talked about, the Gallatin Valley and the Bozeman market in particular. I think the median home price actually finally went down in the Bozeman Gallatin Valley area from a little over $700,000 to now still just under $700,000. So still pretty crazy. Talk about the Billings market. What are some Billings area specifics that you're seeing?
So in Billings right now, we're seeing an average home sale price of $329,000. That's an increase over $292,000 in 2020. So we're seeing a significant increase year over year. It's inventory, lower inventory is driving those numbers, Aaron. But if we look at the actual home listings, homes that have been put on the market, in relation to last year, we had year to date approximately 1,800 homes listed, and we're at 1,876 right now. So we're up 3.8% as far as homes that are listed, but the homes that are listed are sold.
They're just flying off.
They're flying off the market.
Because, I think, early on in the pandemic, I think it was obvious why, okay, if you were in a Big Sky or a place like that, why that would so quickly, you put that house on the market, you're right there next to the mountains, you got ski resorts right next to you. And so it was obvious why, okay, you've got cash buyers coming from out of state, sight unseen. Missoula, the same thing was happening there, sight unseen, cash offers. And multiple over the asking price offers. But you've been seeing the same thing in Billings, right?
We absolutely have. It's really amazing, the cash buyers. We're trying to figure out where they've all come from. We're seeing really reversed from our previous market, where you would see 20 to 30% cash buyers. Now we're seeing 70 or 80% cash buyers. And with Billings area home prices up 33% over 5 years, our Red Lodge office, we're seeing a 64% increase in the past 5 years. In the Columbus market, at our Columbus office, it's 57%. So if you've got an investment in real estate in any of these markets, I think it was a very good choice.
Yeah, it's and it's kind of crazy too, because when you talk about the prices in the Billings area being a little over $300,000, these are obviously crazy numbers for folks in Billings, because you could take a house that maybe just a few years ago was closer to the 200s, that now is definitely above the 300s, and that's a big price spike for the Billings area in recent years. But the folks in Bozeman are probably sitting and listening, thinking, "Holy cow! I wish we could find something for 329, or whatever."
And Aaron, and that's a great point. We are seeing buyers in Montana that are coming from Bozeman. They're trying to find affordable housing in the state, so we're seeing them leave Big Sky. We're seeing them leave Bozeman. They're coming into our community and trying to find a home because, as you said, when you're at 700,000 average home price, 329 looks like a bargain.
Yeah.
And I get asked the question a lot, what about out-of-state buyers? So, just speaking in our office at Berkshire Hathaway, we're showing 27% of all of our buyers are out-of-state buyers. And the top three, which I think is kind of unusual, the first one I think everybody would guess, which is California. But number two is Texas at 10%, and Arizona is 8%.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So even those warmer, and are these second home type scenarios where they're like, okay, I still want to be down in Texas or Arizona for the winter, but I kind of want to, a summertime retreat, shall we say?
I think that seems to be the majority. We do have people moving in, obviously, to work in the market, but a lot of second homes is what we're seeing.
Yeah. Are things starting to slow down a little bit in terms of just the escalation in prices that we've seen? Do you feel like things are starting to now kind of at least nationally, or what's it doing here in Montana compared to what it's doing nationally?
We are definitely not slowing down. Now, nationally, we are seeing some slowdowns. It hasn't translated into our market yet. We anticipate that it may, but there's so much interest in our area, and we've had a lot of really positive media attention, which is driving people from both coasts into our market. So, I mean, we see it remaining very strong for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's been crazy because in so many other parts of the country, they're still in partial lockdowns. They're still heavily restricted, and so there's a lot of people who are saying, I need to get the heck out of Dodge, and I want to go live in a place where I can be a little bit more free. And now it's so much easier to work from anywhere. You can work remotely, and a lot of companies were forcing people to work remotely. So they're like, well, if I'm going to work from home, why do I want to live in this mess?
That's the truth. And we had some internal data from Berkshire Hathaway Corporate that in a typical year, you've got about 5 million transactions across the country. Due to COVID and the lockdowns and everything that you just mentioned, the estimate was that we had 14 million to 19 million people that are in work from home scenarios that are getting ready to make a move. And I think we're just seeing the very start of that as companies solidify their policies of, okay, Dan, you can work from home anywhere, you've got a good connection. But once they have a solid answer on what that is, then they're going to make a home sale decision.
Yeah. So there's probably a couple obvious follow-up questions. One is, okay, so if you're a Montanan who's looking to sell, what advice would you have for them? Or two, if you're a Montanan who's looking to buy, how do you compete with these out-of-state cash buyers? So a couple follow-up questions. We'll talk more with Dan Smith from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Floberg Real Estate right after this quick break right here on Montana Talks.
This is Montana Talks with Aaron Flint.
All right, yeah, we've been talking a lot about the crazy real estate markets over the last year, and so it's been great. We've talked with real estate experts in Missoula. We've talked with real estate experts in Bozeman. Great to have a real estate expert here with us in studio right now as well. Dan Smith with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Floberg Real Estate. Again, Dan, thanks for being with us here. We got a caller on the line. Let's maybe take a quick phone call here if you got a quick question or comment here. Clint in Bozeman, did you have a quick question or comment?
Well, I sure do. And Mr. Floberg, I knew a girl by the name of Kim Floberg that was from Billings. But anyway, maybe he knows her. But anyway, my question is this. This year is reappraisal. and I've already run into one of the reappraisal fellows from the state. What is going to happen with these homes that were appraised, say, at $300,000 and are now over $600,000? What is that going to do to the taxes for these various different individuals that you talk about, people coming in here buying all these homes? And I know they're coming because some of my friends here, out here at the Four Corners, have put their houses up for sale, and actually they've had bidding. They put it up for X number of dollars, and then other people start bidding higher than what their home they asked for it. And I was wondering if
he's seeing that. Yeah, in fact, he was telling Dan was telling me during the break that he's seeing the exact same thing. These bidding wars that are coming out, where people, way over the asking price. Yeah, Dan, before we talk the property tax thing, I mean, hit on that point just to give a little more perspective too.
Well, Aaron, we have examples every week, and you'd ask the question before break, why would you work with a real estate agent? The example that we're talking about right here, you list your home, say we listed at an average price at the $329,000. What we're seeing is multiple offers. We had an agent that got 18 offers on one home. We've had numerous instances, and these homes, like the caller just mentioned, are selling tens of thousands of dollars over what people are asking. So I would highly encourage you, if you want to sell your home, obviously I'm biased at Berkshire Hathaway, but find a good agent and help them or have them help you navigate that, because you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you don't.
Well, and the headache and the hassle of dealing with all these different folks and agents and buyers and cash offers from here, cash offers for there, and knowing, okay, well, here's the difference between this offer and that offer. It can get very complex. It may not seem like it. Yeah.
And you take on a lot of liability. Our office has errors and omissions insurance specifically for protection of our clients and our agents. So, if you're out there trying to kind of navigate it on your own, there's a lot of landmines, and in this market with the out-of-state buyers and so forth, you very possibly could step on one.
I know for Clint's question about property taxes, it's probably a better question for us to throw to, like, say, a Bob Story from the Montana Taxpayers Association. I know that there has been state law that tries to limit the percentage of increases in property taxes that you pay, so that you don't see a massive spike in your property taxes based on these short-term property tax appraisals, right? So that's designed, and I know people can also can appeal to the state of Montana when they come out with these appraisals. Anything else that's good to know on that regard?
Well, it's just like the appraisals we had talked about during the break, that when you get into these situations where the market is really taken off and home prices are beyond kind of where the market was, we're seeing appraisers, current appraisers are appraising property that has sold before, so they've got to catch up. And I think the same is true with the state assessors and so forth. But I agree with you. That's a different expert that you probably want to talk to about
on
that.
The property taxes in particular.
Yes,
yeah, we definitely need to follow up on that. Well, you can, of course, find Dan Smith, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Floberg Real Estate. Their phone number, 254-1550, or go to bhhsfloberg.com. About a minute to go here, Dan. What about this question? What if you're a Montana buyer who is just trying to compete with these California cash buyers and others? How do you compete? What advice would you have for those Montanans? Can you make a personal appeal or pitch or something? You know what I mean?
Well, I think, it's going to take persistence. Like I said, we're seeing cash buyers just kind of come out of the woodwork. It's difficult. We see our FHA buyers, they're really having difficulty finding that home, because you're in a position where it definitely needs to appraise, number one, and you're competing against those cash buyers. And if you've got an agent on the other side that is really looking out for their seller,
that can make your case for you, that knows how to make the pitch, that can say, hey, these are who my clients are, I can vouch for them, you know me, I know you. You're right. It's just like if you had an agent in your professional career, right?
And that's true, Aaron. And a a good lender, a local lender, is a positive as well.
Good point. All right, Dan, great to have you. Thanks for taking some time out.
Thank you, sir.